hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And the Geico restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
This is it. After 15 weeks of competition, 7 champions have been crowned in the Lincoln Tech Fall Series, and tonight the Invets Xfinity Series will crown our 8th in the last and final race of 2025 right here, right now, on V-Speed. As always, we have to thank our sponsors for allowing us to put this show on for you tonight. A huge thank you to Invets, building strong futures for Indiana veterans. To Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work. And to Save 22, struggling? Let's talk. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Jacob Lenke. Here alongside me is Ken Huber. We got Eddie Smith in the production booth and the talented Dougie Beard providing tonight's cameras.
Well, it is awesome to be here for the final race of the season. What a season we've had here at Goat Locker Racing right here on V-Speed. Really looking forward to racing here at Old Atlanta, one of my favorite tracks. It's going to eat those tires up tonight. Should be a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of twists and turns, and 4 drivers are going to be looking for that final championship of the season.
And there you see it on your screen right there. We got Joseph McWhorter, Mark Whitley, Barrett Morton, and Jamie Lipke there, your final 4 racing for this battle. So whoever finishes ahead of the other is going to win this championship here tonight. So somebody's going to take the crown.
Yes, indeed. Well fought by all 4 of these drivers. Every one of them deserves to be in this position tonight. And I'd love to tell you a little bit about the place we're going to settle it at. Atlanta Motor Speedway is a 1.5-mile quad oval set in Hampton, Georgia, that has hosted many forms of NASCAR competition since the year 1960, including the Winston. The track will be running on tonight is that prior to a 2021 repave and reconfiguration into a super speedway, meaning we get a true classic NASCAR show for our send-off to 2025.
Yeah, like I mentioned at the top, this is going to be a fun track, and it's super hot out there today. You know, we're racing in the afternoon, typical Atlanta sunshine. We got 123 degree track temperature right now for qualifying, and that's only ticking up as we get all the cars on the racetrack. So it's going to be pretty slick out there for these guys to get around this place tonight, and it's going to be really hard on the tires, but I'm here for it.
Yep, not a cloud in the sky. The tires are going to be screaming by lap 10, and this is going to be a true test for everybody to get around the track. I think we should probably get our predictions out of the way early, Ken. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. You get Mick Horder or Whitley. That's kind of, I'd like to see somebody like Barrett Morton maybe sneak one out, or maybe even Jamie Lipke. But man, those two guys are going to be tough tonight.
I'm going to go with a driver that we haven't seen a lot from this season. I think this might be one of his first races of the season. Give me the number 14 at Chance Taylor, former champion in Goat Locker. I think he's got what it takes to take it to him.
Well, I'll stick with Barrett Morton. I think he was my pick last week. We'll see. I like to pick the underdogs, as you know, and we'll see what happens here. We can take a look at our race analysis here for what we're going to deal with tonight. So we're at Atlanta Motor Speedway with 100 laps here. Pit road speed is 50 miles an hour. They'll have 4 sets of tires, which they might need, might not need, depending on how many cautions we see out there. 2 green, white checker attempts, 100% fuel with an iRacing fixed setup.
And not a moment too soon, because we get to crown our final Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner of the season, the 77 of Mark Whitley on the pole again, and his championship rival in the 72 of Joseph McWhorter to his outside. P3 is going to be another championship contender in Barrett Morton, Chance Taylor in 4th. 5th is going to be Lucas Lyons, George Jewell in P6. Daniel Cunningham in the 88 rolls off 7th with George Jewell with Craig Bontrager in 8th, Alan Smith in 9th, and Judson Curtis going to be rounding out your starting top 10.
Well, the 99 of Brandon Wallace will be starting on row 6 in P11. David Calvert will start on the outside in P12. Sammy Yosef will start P13 with Charles Abert in that number 7 machine will start on his outside. Kevin Price will start in the 15th position with Armando Melgosa starting in 16th. Jamie Lipke, one of those championship contenders, is going to start a little bit further back in 17th. Frederick Seagraves out there on the outside in 18th. Colton Sisk will start 19th on the inside with Wyatt Dooling in the 51 starting in that 20th position.
P21 is going to be Dave Calbert. 22nd will be Darren Price. Brock Price rolls off 23rd. Stephen Davis qualifies 24th. Stephen Purcell in the 92 rolls off P25. Chuck Feltz in the Marine Machine in 26th. Claire Sisk in 27th. And rounding out our final field of the season will be Gary Wright in P28.
We didn't get
well, it's about to get real here, so we're about to pace car is about to set out for the final time here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the old school Atlanta, where a lot of history's been made out here. I like this track a lot more than I like the new Atlanta because it does offer some driver skills, some driver challenges out here, and that's what these guys are going to be facing out here tonight. And the big question is Whitley or McWhorter going to try to grab one of those another one of those wins as well as a championship, or will we see one of those underdogs come up and score a victory for the first time this year?
One thing's for sure, it's going to be a show. You see that wide patch in the corner. There's a few different grooves you can take through the corner that'll give you a different exit onto the backstretch, but ultimately you want to get back up toward that wall on exit. If you're running side by side through the corner, it's going to go to whoever's up top. Everybody here is going to want to try and race it clean, race it all the way to the green to the end, and we're going to try and finish this out on a bang.
Well, we got 100 laps to settle it, and the fuel window's sitting about 55 laps, give or take a few laps. So if we manage to stay green, it should only be a one-stop race, but they are going to be screaming for tires if they go that full length. But we're coming around for the final corner here, Jacob. Pace car is about to duck into pit lane, and we are going to send them racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Mark Whitley, Joseph McWhorter at the front of the field. For the final time of 2025, the pace car is in. The green flag waves, and we are rolling. Green flag at Atlanta.
What a start by Joseph McWhorter on the outside there. McWhorter's got a jump over his teammate, going to fall down in front of Whitley. And you can see now they're 1-2. You got Barrett Morton in that third car in that white and red. Gets a little bit up into the wall. McWhorter in the wall and crash. Big crash for McWhorter.
Caution is out already, not even through turn 2. Everybody onto the backstretch as the 72 of McWhorter gets into Chance Taylor after some solid wall contact. I think he's going to have to take his repair after that one.
Wow, yeah, that was that's not the way you want to start off your championship race there for McWhorter. We're going to go back and see exactly what happened. The old McWhorter got loose there, gets up under the wall, and you can see it there. And then the 14, trying to avoid it, just swerves back and forth and collects him even further. That was Chance Taylor you see there in the 14.
If it just snapped back on him when he was trying to catch it up into the corner. I want to take another look at something else we saw during that one. You see McWhorter going around on the bottom there. Barrett Morton and Lucas Lyons are going to be registered as 1-2 in this one because they were able to get past Whitley at the before the caution waved. Whitley was loose on the bottom too. That's how McWhorter was able to get so far ahead. So we just saw the top 2 spots get swapped to somebody else completely. Daniel Cunningham moved up to 4th and Judson Curtis to 5th.
And Barrett Morton leading this race. He is a championship contender. So Barrett Morton, my pick of the night, finds himself, he's going to restart this race on the pole. You can see just in the background there, the 14 and Joseph McWhorter headed to pit lane to get those cars repaired and get back out there. So not sure how much damage is on those cars. They got a little bit. Not sure if they'll take that quick repair or not, but wow, there's a lot of rear end damage on McWhorter's car. You can see that rear end all crumpled in. I imagine he might take the quick repair. We'll see. And yep, he took the quick repair. You see that damage get immediately repaired. He's going to put some tires on that car and try to race his way up through the field.
Yep, both of those drivers likely having to take it there just so they can get through the rest of this race. But that means there's no more freebies. You got to keep it consistent and just keep it clean throughout the rest of this one. Don't make any aggressive moves. And for the 72, I think that's going to be a hard sell.
Most definitely. Well, we've got a quick break here. Why don't we talk about our primary sponsor here for this series, the Invets. Invets aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They are a veteran nonprofit located in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. They are a sponsor of this series and have been a sponsor of many other series here at Goat Locker Racing. Very happy to have them on board here tonight and all season long.
Yes, indeed. Title sponsor of the Xfinity series and a longtime partner of Goat Locker as a whole for the longest time. And we are very happy to have them on board.
Well, the lights are out atop the pace car. One of our championship contenders is going to start on the outside. It looks like that's Barrett Morton in that number 9, that beautiful looking machine out there. Lucas Lyons is going to be on his inside. Mark Whitley got loose there, is going to start in 3rd down there on the inside. And Daniel Cunningham, I believe this is his first appearance this season in the Xfinity series, going to start there on the outside in 4th.
Yep, Cunningham, another one of our faster drivers throughout a lot of the other series. Doesn't get a lot of time to run nowadays because he's in the booth.
Yeah, and I ran against him. He's a good competitive driver, very clean driver. So, and he's up there up front. He might make a statement here tonight here at Atlanta. We'll have to wait and see.
Yes, we will. Now everybody's doubled up in the field once more. Barrett Morton opting to take that outside lane for the exit into turn 1. Pace car getting ready to pull it back down to the pit lane. Everybody's doubled up. Exiting turn 4. Pace car is in. Going into the restart zone now. Green flag back out at Atlanta.
And a nice jump there for Barrett Morton. Going to take off.
Oh, no!
Bontrager. Bontrager, we're still green, though. He's the only car. He's down on the infield. So Bontrager, he had that accident last week. I think he got maybe rear-ended, maybe not. But something happened to him on that start. Finds himself trying to gather that machine back up.
Back up at the front, Mark Whitley taking a look at Cunningham to the inside into turn 3. Everybody wanting to stretch their legs out, get these tires warmed up and moving, so we can actually get to racing here as we make that green flag lap.
Yeah, and already here at Atlanta with a hot track, and this track is so abrasive, you already got to be thinking about tire strategy. You know, you don't want to be going full out, so it's a matter of it's a chess game out there right now with these guys, figuring out where they want to run and try to save those tires at the same time.
So indeed, Judson Curtis taking a look to the inside of the 77, a driver we've seen toward the top 10 for a lot of this season, but really started coming into it toward the end of this one. Led a lot of laps at Michigan, ended up not leading the last one he needed, but he is up to 4th.
Yeah, and continuing to move forward, he's going to put some heat now on Daniel Cunningham just ahead of him there. So he's already putting some speed out on the track. We'll see if that strategy will work out for him as far as tires is concerned. And that's what you're going to hear me say all night long, tires, tires, tires. And that's what these guys got to protect as they're getting through the night here.
Yep, tires is going to be the biggest name of the game throughout this one because it just chews them up so much if you push. You might feel good going into the corner one lap, and then the very next lap you are over-rotating into the infield and then spinning yourself back up on track because it's just that mercurial. Justin Curtis making it all the way to the bottom on Cunningham, chasing down P2.
Yeah, another position gain, so Daniel Cunningham maybe holding that car in a reserve a little bit, gets right all the way up on the back bumper of Justin Curtis there, but able to keep it off. Justin Curtis now facing Lucas Lyons there in the 17 car. So Lucas going to try to hold on to that position. Justin Curtis going to take a look to the inside going into one. This is where these cars have been really loose. They almost get together there. Coming out of 2, Justin's got a little bit of an advantage, but that outside line is starting to roll a little bit of momentum now. That's going to allow Lucas Lyons to hold tight up on the outside.
Keeping it side by side for now, but Judson's got that inside on the corner. He's got that momentum. Is he going to be able to clear him completely? Yes. P2 for Judson Curtis, chasing down our leader, Barrett Moore.
Making some early tracks there after starting in the 10th position. So really fast mover here on the night. We're 10 laps in, and he's almost 10 positions up. Looking to the outside now on our leader of Barrett Morton. Judson Curtis taking a peek, seeing if he can make that outside work. And 1 and 2 is the best place to do that for the outside lane. And it tends to be right now, at least until we get the track really hot, that the inside line here in 3 and 4 is probably better.
Yep, he keeps that momentum on the outside, tries to look to the inside for the entrance of 3, thinks better of it, and decides to line back up. Judson Curtis still trying to track him down.
Just to follow up on Bontrager. Bontrager, who spun out earlier, we've seen him down there on the infield. He is 10 seconds from going a lap down. He managed to stay on the lead lap, but he is fighting and hoping maybe for a caution so he can get gathered back up at the field. But there you see him there, currently running in 28th. He's going to be trying to fend off these leaders, but he's got good speed because the leaders are not running him down. So that's what we're looking at for Bontrager.
Yep, Barrett Morton only about a 10th faster than Bontrager on that last lap. Somebody that I would like to give an update on is Joseph McWhorter. After that initial wreck, has moved himself up to P12. Battling it out with the likes of Wyatt Dooling, getting past Charles Abrett there, trying to chase himself back up into the top 10 like we've seen so many times before.
Yeah, Wyatt Dooling almost getting in the wall in that 51. He does there. So Wyatt Dooling really struggling with that Toyota out there, trying to keep it off the wall. He's trying to, I guess, rub some paint off, put some more white paint on that car of his, but that's not going to get him very far as we ride on board with him. See if he makes another love tap up here going into 1.
Well, that just gave up the position to Joseph McWhorter and Charles Abrett, dives it down to the bottom. Abrett's going to keep the top on exit and just going to blow right by him. He might have some damage on the right side of that 51 machine.
Yeah, this is a very aero-dependent track, so you got to be very careful with that sheet metal on the car. You don't want to rough it up too much if you want to keep that speed, especially on the front end. You know, you need that front end to really turn these cars, especially as the tires get worn. And if you lose that downforce on the front end, it just makes the car even more of a handful to wrestle with for the rest of the night.
As these runs get longer, it's not going to get any easier. We're going to start seeing people slip sliding around, having pushed for the first 10, 15 laps. And then we're gonna see the people that have held back and just kept it clean, kept their lines consistent, start to pull up toward them, and then eventually past them as Judson Curtis is back to the back bumper of the 9 to Morton.
Yeah, and since we had about 5 laps of caution right at the beginning of this thing, they should be able to make it to about lap 60 before they need to pit. These two guys have opened up a little bit of a gap over Lucas Lyons, about 6 car lengths. But you never know if Lucas Lyons and maybe Daniel Cunningham are maybe saving a little bit and waiting for these guys to wear out their equipment. But you can see right now, riding on board with Judson Curtis, looking ahead there at Barrett Morton in that Chevrolet, trying to get an advantage. Now, Barrett Morton, like I said, he's one of the final 4 drivers. He finds himself with the lead, and he'd sure like to spend the rest of the night in this position.
win and you're in the simplest sense. With the format that we have, the highest finishing driver in the Final Four is going to be the champion, and you can't get any higher than P1. Barrett Morton's still holding on to that top spot.
Yeah, there's nothing like putting a nail in it at the end of the season, getting the win in the championship, and I'm sure that's on all those guys' mind. As now we got Justin Curtis taking a quick little peek on the inside there, maybe running a little bit different line. Maybe those tires are starting to get a little hot on Barrett Morton's number 9 car up there, and Justin Curtis sniffing a little bit of weakness there.
Justin Curtis staying half a lane up on Morton, just watching his line, switching back to the bottom, keeps it tucked in behind. You don't want, if you're not going to make the move, you might as well just keep an eye out and see where they're running, so you can go where they're not on the later parts of the run.
Yeah, you can see Justin Curtis right down there on that white line. That's where I like to run there in 3 and 4. And so doing a good job and maybe saving some tires back there. Just let that 9 try to run away. So now the 9's got it in his head probably that, hey, I want to keep this position, but I also need to save tires. So it's kind of looking back there in the rearview mirror and trying to figure out how much speed you need to put on and save those tires at the same time.
As good as it would be to finally get that win on the season, you don't need to win to get this championship. So if Curtis in the next, I want to say like 10, 15 laps is still giving you fits, still giving you pressure, you can let him by and still keep that top spot in our championship standings while running second behind him.
Yeah, but one guy you don't want to forget about sitting back there in 5th position is Mark Whitley. So Mark Whitley had that slide early, dropped back to 3rd, now he's back to 5th, and you're not going to want to count that guy out. He finally got his first win of the season last week. A little bit of controversial finish with Bontrager. Got his first win of the season, was winless all throughout the season, which was quite unusual for Mark Whitley. But Mark Whitley currently hanging back there in 5th, and he's probably has the same strategy you just mentioned, Jacob. Just I just need to stay back there. Maybe Barrett Morton will wear out his stuff, and I'll make a pass here in maybe 20 laps or so.
Patience is a virtue, as we've seen from Whitley time and time again. Yep, we're sitting on board with him, just carefully watching the race in front, watching the guys that are trying to track down the leaders, just sitting back there and calculating his game plan as we get toward the quarterway of this one.
I'm sitting here watching the 17 now. As I say that, Justin Curtis goes to the high side. I was getting ready to call out Lucas Lyons there. He started running a little bit higher line. You can see that 17 machine back there in 3rd, running a little bit higher line. But right now we got a battle for the lead. The 29 going low in 3 and 4 just makes that pass really easy so far. Gets by the 9. I think the 9's going to let him go, just as you said, Jacob. No sense throwing this race away just yet.
Yep, let Judson burn his stuff up. I can sit behind and watch his line and figure out what I need to do to keep myself ahead of that guy in P5. Something we don't talk about too much. We talk about the team of Whitley and McWhorter. We talk about a couple of the other teams that are running. Oh! Watching Lucas Lyons slip to the inside there. Barely keeps a hold of it. Lyons and Morton are teammates, so Morton has a very advantageous position in that if Whitley does start coming, Lucas Lyons is effectively going to be his rear gunner. Morton is in a good position right now.
That's kind of a nice thing to have in your back pocket, so to speak. So, Lucas Lyons out there. I was watching Lucas Lyons during practice. He was, he was all over the place with that car. But Lucas Lyons now coming up on that number 9, using that outside lane, looking really strong. Like I said, I was watching him come up, changing that line, and now he's there. He's on the back door of that number 9, using that outside lane. He's got a little bit more momentum. But you've seen that 17 step out on the last lap, so he's got to be careful there.
Yep, everybody just keeping it civil right now. Everybody keeping their the margins between haven't gone off too far as we're taking a look at the 7 of Charles Abert. Might have had a moment pulling it down into the pit road now.
Yeah, it's definitely off the pit strategy for Charles Abert. Not sure exactly what happened to that number 7 car. Another one of those Greg Biffle throwback schemes.
Yep, a lot of those in the field tonight to pay tribute to the unfortunate passing of Greg Biffle and his family. taking a look at another one of those right there, Jamie Libke battling Alan Smith and Joseph McWhorter on the track right now. Alan Smith up to P7, Joseph McWhorter still on the charge, P8. Jamie Libke, one of their championship rivals, right behind him at P9.
Yeah, and Jamie didn't have a good qualifying effort there. You see, she started in 17th, currently running behind McWhorter, so maybe she can follow McWhorter up front. You know, McWhorter is fast. Jamie Libke was a lucky beneficiary last week of an unfortunate incident with Bontrager, that Bontrager was headed for the top 4, but a last lap incident took him out of it. So that allowed Jamie Libke to move up into this championship race, and she's showing why she's here and just staying right with McWhorter, following McWhorter maybe all the way to the front.
Yes, indeed. Many times we've seen Jamie Libke up at the front of these races toward the top 10. And
we got a car in the wall in the backstretch. I think it was the 36.
Oh, George
Yeah,
Jewell.
George Jewell. I think he just got loose on exit there and tried to save it. The car went down.
Whoa.
Oh, hopefully he gets it back down the apron so we can stay green. We're taking another look here. We're under caution, so.
Yep, 1 and 2. Yep, it just pushes up on him on the exit of turn 2, sends him down into the infield wall, keeps it back down, and then I don't know if this was because he came back up on track or.
He's up on track doing donuts right now. So, yeah, he came back up on track, and I think he's got a tire down there on the right side. Yeah, there you go. And just couldn't get it going, and that's what brought out the caution right there.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and he's still fighting it. It's one of those situations where you got to tow it. He's still trying to get it to pit lane. He can't even get it there. I guess we're looking at Darren Price, another car there, this pit lane. But I thought that was George Jewell trying to make his way to pit lane. But looking at the 68 car, you got a tire down the right front. It looks like is down on that car, so maybe a wall scrape and maybe a lucky caution for that car.
Lucky for him, it keeps him on the lead lap. See him pulled to the inside here as we take a look back at our leader, Judson Curtis, who's been up at the front for a majority of this thing. I don't know how to talk about the feel of this one yet, because we're not far enough in to where I think people are going to want to take risks with the strategy, but we're also to a point where I think people might be able to try and throw something off. As we see a lot of cars taking it down pit road for tires.
Yeah, anybody with 2 functioning brain cells is going to head down to pit lane and get some tires on these machines, because the tires are definitely worn out as we're sitting at almost 30 laps right now. So, unfortunately, we're not to the halfway point, so they're going to have to make at least one more pit stop, and that might be where the strategy plays off. But I think it would be unwise to go anything but 4 tires at this point.
Take it 4. If you haven't been running a lot, if you haven't been pushing it a lot, do you think that it would be wise to take 2?
No, I would never do it. But, there's always guys that are willing to try. And it looks like Lucas Lyons, the winner off pit lane. So Lucas Lyons now finds himself on point over Judson Curtis, was able to get out a very quick pit stop there for Lucas. So been climbing all night long. Barrett Morton back there in 3rd. So that's who won the race off pit lane. And then, of course, you've got Daniel Cunningham still in 4th, and Mark Whitley retains his 5th place.
Yes, indeed. Top 5 just jumbled around a little bit. Lucas Lyons, Judson Curtis, Barrett Morton, Mark Whitley, and Daniel Cunningham going to take the green in that order.
You know
Let's
what?
say we talk.
Oh, I was just going to say, go ahead. I think our minds were reading the same thing.
So let's say we talk about our most recent Warrior Spotlight. Here's our latest Warrior Spotlight, Devin Smith. Devin served for 7 years in the U.S. Army, both active and reserves. During his time as Fort Carson, he served with the 410th Cav as a scout platoon leader and executive officer. He also spent a year embedded with the British Army. Since receiving the second sim rig GLR donated, Devin has become an integral part of the GLR family. We are proud to have him as a member of GLR and thank him for his service to our country.
Yeah, about a year ago, I was racing Devin in the GT3 series, and we had a private conversation. We shared a lot of experience being from the mountain states and whatnot. We both grew up in the same area. And spent some time both at Fort Carson myself for a little bit of time. So enjoying those Mountain States camaraderie, and it's very good, to look back at Goat Locker history and look at some of our other recipients from time to time. So glad to see he's out there. Well, he's not in this race, but look forward to seeing him on the track again.
Does a lot of running in the IndyCar series we had and in GT3. Everybody's doubled back up. Lucas Lyons on the inside, Judson Curtis to the outside. Pace car getting ready to pull into the pit lane as we get through turn 4. Leading them back to the restart zone is Lucas Lyons as we are green back at Atlanta.
Man, that outside lane is strong, Judson Curtis. It didn't get quite the start I thought he was going to get there, but so Lucas Lyons was able to leap way out in front. Barrett Morton is going to pass Judson Curtis. And then now Judson Curtis under threat there with Daniel Cunningham, and then the 77 on the outside of him trying to make that pass. Daniel Cunningham going backwards, move Mark Whitley up a spot.
Yep, Judson Curtis cuts it down a little bit, trying to block off that run from Mark Whitley, who keeps it all the way to the bottom with Curtis through 3 and 4, keeps it, dives to the bottom, trying to overtake him through the quad oval.
There you go. You see Mark Whitley now down on the inside. And I know Mark Whitley was watching Judson Curtis drive that last run, and so he knows that Judson is a very strong driver out there, and I have a feeling Judson is back there saving his tires again. But Mark Whitley, he definitely wants to get up front. Now he's challenging. We got two of our points leaders, the battle for the championship, two of them side by side, door handle to door handle. Mark Whitley down on the inside. They're coming through the tri-oval. Mark Whitley gets a little loose there. Can Barrett Morton hold him off on the outside going into one? We're about to find out.
It's going to be a close one. Mark Whitley's got the advantage on the entry, but it looks like he backs off a little bit. Barrett Morton keeping that higher line, going to take the momentum all the way back into second. We're going to see him re-rack for this one.
Man, a close call for those two guys, both battling for the championship right up top. And don't look now, back there just a little bit further back, that green and black car. Joseph McWhorter sitting back there. He's currently up to 7th after that early race crash, that lap 1 crash, I should say. Back there sitting behind the 99 there, Brandon Wallace, and still making his way forward in this race.
Whitley going all the way up top. Going to try and take that run on the exit of turn 2 all the way to the bottom of Barrett Morton. Goes to the inside, overtakes him without any issue. Gets him to P2 over Barrett Morton. Judson Curtis now looking on.
Yeah, Whitley had enough, I guess, riding back there in 5th all night, trying to move up the track right now. We're watching another battle just behind them. It looks like Judson Curtis now looking to the inside of Barrett Morton.
Yep, Barrett Morton still keeping it tidy through there. Judson Curtis made a move through the corner, and we're going to Lucas Lyons and all of the other drivers making their way around the lap car of Darren Price here.
Yeah, Darren Price coming up there on the inside there. Everybody taking evasive action going around on the outside. You can see we're looking at the 17 of Lucas Lyons go by. Lucas Lyons still leading this thing. Mark Whitley now in second, and Judson Curtis there was able to get around Barrett Morton. So Judson Curtis up to that P3.
Yep, Judson looking to try and reclaim that P2 spot from Mark Whitley. Whitley's still battling, or he's tracking him down. He's getting closer and closer every lap to the 17.
Yeah, and Lucas Lyons just been driving the wheels off that 17 car tonight. So got a little bit of a gap. He's got to be mindful of how much pressure he's putting on those tires. This race is still a long ways to go, but they couldn't do a shorter stint. So here we got a little bit more pit strategy. So they can drive these cars a little bit harder, knowing that they only have to go maybe 30 some laps, not have to go the 60 laps that we thought they might have to go if we stayed green.
Yep. Taking a look to the inside was Judson Curtis, got side by side with the 77 there, but nothing doing as the 77 jumps back out to that second position.
Yeah, how about Daniel Cunningham still running back there in 5th in that 88, that red and black Granger machine. And just behind them, we got Brandon Wallace, been here all season there. He's making his presence known back there. You see him out there on the outside with Joseph McWhorter just behind him, taking a look on that outside line. But Brandon Wallace making his way up to the front.
Yep, don't look now. Judson Curtis making another move to the inside of the 77. Clears him for the second spot. Whitley might have a rebuttal here in the quad oval.
Man, I got to tell you, your pick, you must have known something I didn't know there, Jacob, because that guy is super bad fast tonight.
Yes, indeed. Judson Curtis has been, he's shown glimpses throughout the season. He's put at top 10s. We've had interviews with him before, but toward the end of this one, or like the end of this season in particular, he has just turned on the jets. He's not eligible for the championship anymore after getting eliminated, but he is going to be looking for that first win of the season over Lyons and Whitley here tonight.
Well, Barrett Morton currently running behind Mark Whitley, both two championship contenders there. So if the race was to finish right here, Mark Whitley would obviously win the championship. That's how tight it is, but Barrett Morton only one position behind, and Barrett Morton didn't put up too big of a fight when Whitley passed him, so maybe Barrett's saving just a little bit. And Whitley was very aggressive trying to work his way up front, so we'll have to see how this all shakes out.
Yep. We're on board with that driver right now, looking at the back end of the 77 of Mark Whitley, the main rival in his championship competition right now. And don't look now, another one has just entered the fray. Getting around Brandon Wallace is the 72 of Joseph McWhorter, right behind these guys.
Yeah, he's right now tailing Daniel Cunningham. You can see Daniel Cunningham in the 88 there. Couldn't quite get enough of a momentum to get alongside. That allowed Brandon Wallace back on his outside, but that 72 will have the advantage as they go into turn 3 here. But trying to get sniff a little bit of draft there off Daniel Cunningham and maybe make an attempt on a pass through 1 and 2 here.
Yep, Joseph McWhorter all the way to the inside, got a fender in on the quarter of Daniel Cunningham, rolls that bottom line, taking the line of everybody that's in front. Cunningham's going to have a run off the backstretch, but McWhorter's not going to give it up that easy.
Now McWhorter wants to get up there. He sees his other two guys up there fighting for this championship. Would like to make it a 3-car battle. And to be honest with you there, Jacob, I'd like to see that too. See all 3 cars running, or all 4 cars for that matter. But I think I'm not sure what happened to Jamie Lipke where she's running, but just going back there, she is in 20th. So something happened within that cycle of pit stop. So our 4th championship contender currently having some struggles right now, currently running in that 20th position.
It might have been an issue on the pit stop because they were top 10 prior to it. They are back in 20th position and trying to track down the rest of this field right here as we are getting towards halfway.
Currently looking at the 77 of Mark Whitley right now. Got Barrett Morton in tow. Probably see that green and black machine, his teammate coming up. Still trying to get by Daniel Cunningham, but I think McWhorter's trying to be easy on the tires. That's why he hasn't really stuffed it in there. Just trying to keep up with the leaders and save that rubber for later in this race, but he's definitely there.
Yep, keeping the line higher. Running opposite to a lot of these guys right now. Daniel Cunningham still holding off that 5th position. McWhorter has been trying to get around him for a long time compared to a lot of the other drivers he's pushed with. On board with the 72, tracking down the 88. You see him getting a little bit closer. Going to make another move here into turn 1s through turns 1 and 2 onto the backstretch.
Yeah, just very smooth here. You see that? He just backed off way earlier than Cunningham. He is saving tires right now. But we got a battle for the lead, it looks like. So Lucas Lyons under threat there by Judson Curtis. Judson Curtis had him on the inside there a little bit, but the momentum of the 17 carried through. We'll see what happens here going through 3 and 4. And this is a little bit more advantage for that 29 of Judson Curtis. And he's going to stay there and follow in the tire tracks for at least now. We'll see what happens.
Judson Curtis looking outside, inside, pushes it up to the top. Lucas Lyons keeping the low line. Judson's going to have a run onto the backstretch as we see him close up. He's going to go shoot for the outside. He's got to the outside of Lucas Lyons, and I think we might have a change for the lead here into turn 4.
Yeah, it's tough to say. 3 and 4 here does have a little bit of advantage, but maybe the track has gotten hot there, so Lucas may be struggling a little bit with those tires and that hotter lane, and he gives up the position. Judson Curtis did lead that lap, I believe, yes. So give the lead to Judson Curtis as they go into 1 and 2.
29 back to the point. Mark Whitley still under fire from the 9 of Barrett Morton. Morton's a lot closer than he has been throughout the majority of this run, and the 72 has finally cleared the 88, so now Barrett Morton's going to be in trouble.
Well, don't count the 88 just yet. Making a challenge back on the inside. Daniel Cunningham going through 1 and 2, but we've seen the outside work for Judson Curtis, and it looks like the same thing's happening for McWhorter right now, able to get a run on the outside and officially take that position.
Yes, indeed. Whitley, Morton, McWhorter still running that a little bit higher lane into the corner, watching the other two keep it wrapped all the way to the inside, trying to get a little more speed to catch up to our top two runners.
Well, how about this, folks? Third, fourth, and fifth are all championship contenders. So you got Mark Whitley running in third, Barrett Morton just behind him, and then Joseph McWhorter. Wow, so what a championship race this is turning out to be. And it's the way it's been all season, just nonstop thrills and chills. And it's been a blast calling these races with you, Jacob.
Yes, indeed, it has, Ken. I appreciate every minute that I get to sit in the booth with you and Eddie watching these guys battle it out, because they truly are the best that Goat Locker has to offer.
Yeah, what a way to end the season here. We're at, I don't know, I can't even see. I'm so excited about where we're at. I'm just checking my lap count here, and we are, it's all covered up, lap 49, so almost to the halfway point of this race. And the top three championship contenders are all up front here within the top six or top five.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a battle to the finish if the race goes all the way green from here. We're going to still need at least one pit stop, I'd imagine, and it's only a matter of when that's going to happen.
Yeah, and I kind of like what these three guys are doing. It's almost like they've slowed up a little bit. They don't care about the top two guys. They're not racing those guys for the championship. So they're letting those guys check out a little bit. I think Lucas Lyon's car might be fading just a little bit, but Justin Curtis is starting to pull away. But those three drivers, and Whitley, if you remember, really fought hard to get up to where he's at on the initial run on these new tires. So I think Whitley's backed it down a little bit, and just these three guys running nose to tail and trying to figure out who's going to do the best on tire savings here.
Yep. Barrett Morton has not, I'll say it outright. Barrett Morton on the long run for a lot of these races has not shown that he has speed. But for this one in particular, he's kept it up there. He's kept it top five, running with these guys, and has been taking it to the top two favorites, McWhorter and Whitley, week in and week out through the playoffs. Kept it up in a position to where he can make as much of work as he can as we watch him slide through the exit of turn 3 on the backstretch. McWhorter now taking it to the top, trying to get another run on him. But Morton has kept these guys honest throughout the rest of this playoff.
Heading on board there, I have to check my blood pressure after that one. I was watching him counter steer that car. I'm like, oh no, while we're talking about you, don't do it, Barrett, don't do it. But yeah, having a solid, you're right. I did notice that too, not really having the long run capability that he's showing here tonight, but must have got some practice time in once that championship. But right now, he's under serious threat from McWhorter. McWhorter now going to the inside of 1 and 2. McWhorter a little bit sideways on entry there. These tires are starting to feel some wear there, so that's going to allow the outside lane to have the advantage for Barrett, and McWhorter is going to have to back off and try it again here.
Yep, going to have to go back to square one on this one, running a half a lane higher on the entry than Morton has, trying to keep it down to the bottom. Morton cuts down that run, takes it all the way, and he is more defense than offense right now as Whitley runs away to try and catch Lyons.
Yeah, Whitley's starting to step it out. As I mentioned, I thought he was kind of hard on the tires in the opening laps and settled it back down there. And now he's making a charge up front. Lucas Lyons potentially going to be the first victim for one of our championship contenders. Lucas Lyons currently running in that second position. McWhorter now back up to the back of the number 9 car of Barrett Morton.
Yep, don't look now. We are 26 laps into this stint. I would predict that when we get around to lap 60 or so, we're going to see the major fall off, maybe a few incidents, and I think everybody's going to want to try and take another trip down pit road to get those tires put.
It's going to be really interesting, so the big question is once you get to the halfway point of the stint, I should say, not the race, but the stint, do you come in, because you can actually go out to about lap 80 or so on fuel, but do you want to go that far and hope for a caution, or do you want to come in early and manage tires and have that advantage of getting the most laps in on the freshest tires? It's a big question for a lot of these guys.
I'll tell you, Ken, hope is a dangerous thing, because if you sit here and you are betting your entire strategy on a caution, You might get lucky, you might not. And more often than not, it's better to take the safe bet and just go with the numbers that you're looking at.
Yeah, and I think these three guys, at least running for this championship, are probably going to base their strategy on what they see from their competitors there. So, it's going to be who bites to pit lane first. Might depend on what you do with your strategy. And if you're Barrett Morton right now, you can see McWhorter now on the inside, right up on that quarter panel, going to dive it down into 1 and 2. We know that outside line is now strong there through, 3 and 4, I should say. And you can see Barrett Morton holding strong there. Whitley a little loose there on exit, but this is definitely where the outside lane has the advantage going here into 1 and 2, and we'll see if he can hold on to it. As I say that, Whitley really sticking it in there, trying to get this pass made. Can't do it just yet.
Yep, Barrett Morton still has the advantage over McWhorter, both of them side by side, dooring each other down the backstretch. Morton keeping it up toward that middle lane. McWhorter down to the bottom, not taking it all the way to the white line. Keeps the nose in front, but Morton's going to have the advantage on exit.
Yeah, side by side. They're going to cross the line. Side by side. Not sure who is ahead during that lap, but Barrett Morton fighting hard on the outside. I think this is kind of advantage for Barrett Morton. Maybe a little bit easier on the tires because McWhorter's really having to send it down low, really eat up some tire. Trying to get around. Obviously had to fall back in behind that 9 car. So yeah, he's really trying hard, but these tires are getting really worn out at this point. Really difficult to pass.
Don't look now. Lucas Lyons and Judson Curtis are making a duel for the lead. Both of them side by side back through the quad oval right now. Got the bumper in there, and into turn 1 we're going to see Lyons on top. Judson Curtis taking it down low.
Really surprised. I thought Lucas might have used up his equipment and was falling back, but I was wrong because Lucas is out there with a fireball, some fire in that car, going by on the outside past Justin Curtis. Now Lucas Lyons finds himself back in P1.
Yep, Lyons taking P1. Judson Curtis rolling P2. Mark Whitley still in P3, but the fighting between the top two has brought him back into the conversation. He might take another look at Judson this coming lap.
Yeah, and we see Judson down there currently on the low line, Lucas Lyons on the high line. I also seen some takers to pit lane, some of our drivers further back in the field starting to head to pit lane, starting to break up this cycle here. So I imagine we're going to start seeing a lot of these guys pit. The question is, what are our championship drivers going to do?
There's only one way to find out, and that's by watching intently until they do. Mark Whitley right on the back bumper of Judson Curtis here, as we see McWhorter looking on for Morton again. Lucas Lyons back taking the top spot of this one.
Yeah, McWhorter sitting there in the back there. You can see him running in 5th just behind Barrett Morton. He'd really like to get by because the problem is he now sees the leaders checking out. Doesn't want to lose too much time, This is for all the marbles here. All these guys are racing, and I think Barrett Morton is maybe just a tad bit slower than McWhorter wants to run, but they're so equal, it just can't get by as we're looking at the 0-0 now of Alan Smith. Not sure what happened. I think he's either made a pit stop trying to get that car to pit lane, so I think something happened there.
Yep, I think it's just time for him to go to pit lane. 33 laps on the stint right now. Takes it down, makes it into pit lane without speeding.
And that's always a plus. Oh, a battle for second right now. Got Mark Whitley going by on the inside of Judson Curtis, trying to get that position taken. We tried to see, we're watching the exit of the 0-0 here off pit lane.
It looked like he got loose on exit there and then just ended up having to keep it down to avoid contact with everybody. Whitley loose on exit of turn 4, chasing down Judson Curtis.
Yeah, both those guys really loose on that, and you can see, well, they're going to make another attempt here. Mark Whitley trying to get by. I think we got a little bit of a lag here just momentarily as I'm watching a couple things here, but we're going to watch Mark Whitley. There we go. I think our leg got fixed there. A little bit of technical difficulties. So Mark Whitley will make that pass on Judson Curtis, move him up to the second position, going to set his sights on the leader of Lucas Lyons.
Don't count Judson out just yet. Getting up to the back bumper of that 77, chasing him all the way down into the corner, keeping it higher than Whitley. Whitley takes it all the way to the bottom. 0.3 of a second back behind Lucas Lyons as we enter onto the backstretch.
Yeah, that battle allowed Barrett Morton and McWhorter to catch back up a little bit. They were starting to lose contact with our leaders, but there you go. We got another battle. He's trying to challenge back, so you can see Justin Curtis trying to challenge back on Mark Whitley. Can't quite get it done there, so Justin Curtis starting to fall back, but you see just behind them, McWhorter still following closely on that number 9 car, Barrett Morton, trying his best to get by, but we're coming up on pit stop, so these guys also trying to angle in where they want to be in what position. You know, you're always, when you have to make green flag stops, especially at a track like this, you got to know who's behind you and when's the best time to hit pit road. Right now, McWhorter doesn't have a car that's that close, so he's pretty safe, but if you're one of those guys ahead of Barrett Morton and you head to pit lane, you got to really give the other driver a heads up.
It's got to be go time. We're seeing Morton take that top lane through the corner, trying to use up every last bit of the tire he can before he takes that pit stop. Caught up all the way to the back of Judson Curtis right here. Still running that middle lane. Seeing Whitley down on the bottom there. All the way on the back bumper. McWhorter still trying to track these guys down as we have got 5 cars under a blanket trying to get to this lead.
Yeah, I just seen almost like a little bit of nitrous in that 9 car. Another one of those throwback schemes that we talked about earlier. So Barrett Morton starting to move his way up, starting to set his sights on Judson Curtis. So Judson Curtis looked really powerful there on the start of this stint, but starting to fade just a little bit. And Barrett Morton and McWhorter are watching the top 2 guys start to run away again.
Yep, both of those guys still keeping it as fast as they can. Mark Whitley chasing down the 17 to try and take the lead of this one for the first time of the night, going on 70 laps completed. Once we get around a couple more times, we'll have done a little under 3/4 of this race.
Well, while that was going on, just behind them, you see it right there in the back. Barrett Morton just got around on the outside of Judson Curtis. So Barrett Morton up to 3rd place, starting to make his presence re-known out there. He sees Mark Whitley up there in 2nd. Going to try to chase him down. Maybe he saved a little bit of rubber there, able to hammer out that 9 car and get it back up front.
Whitley on the back bumper of Lucas Lyons, going to try and make a move into turn 3. I think he's not going to have enough to keep it next to him, but Lucas Lyons still has that outside line. Both of them running side by side is going to be huge for the cars behind as they make it across the stripe.
Yeah, and everybody behind him is watching, just hoping these guys keep duking it out, especially Barrett Morton in their 9. Just behind you can see Barrett Morton really closing in, really closed a lot of distance in the last couple of laps there with these 2 guys battling. So that's just what Barrett needs. That's going to be my pick of the night. You know I'm rooting for him there, Jacob.
Yes, indeed. Somebody lit the fuse on that rocket as you see him climbing the turn, keeping his tires above that seam in 3 and 4, wrapping the top lane around that track, putting as much power into it as he can to chase down these 2.
And I can tell you these cars are starting to get very difficult to drive. We've seen them stepping out. And so these guys are driving with that egg under their gas pedal right now as they get off these corners. So cars seem to be really free. I know during my testing, cars were a little free on exit, but I didn't do a long run. I kind of assumed that they go tight, but maybe they're staying pretty free out there. And we see Mark Whitley now making another attempt down there on the inside of Lucas Lyons. I don't know yet, doesn't have the momentum to carry speed through the front stretch, so he'll have to back off and try again.
Lucas kept it middle. Where is Barrett Morton?
Well, Barrett Morton is on pit lane, so that's one of our first driver, one of our championship contenders, headed to pit lane. Just seeing if McWhorter stayed out. He did. McWhorter stayed out. So the number 9, first one on pit road. And if we stay green, this is probably the best strategy for that 9 machine. But if we get a caution, it's going to be in big trouble.
The fresher tire is going to be an advantage on the green run. Mark Whitley making another look to the inside of Lucas Lyons, taking it to the stripe line, still has the advantage as they go through toward turn 1.
Side by side going into 1 and 2. That outside line has been super strong. Whitley don't think is going to have it. See Lucas drop down. So Whitley can't get the run off the corner. Got a little bit of toe there. He's going to look to the inside going into 3 and 4.
Yep, Mark Whitley's still keeping the nose in, trying to get to the fender of the Lucas Lyons machine. Lyons still leading out to the front. Whitley's going to pull it down pit road.
So another one of those drivers, so they're going to split this stint in half, and this is what I talked about. Then you got the 2 drivers, Lucas Lyons, Joseph McWhorter staying out, as well as Daniel Cunningham so far. So maybe these guys are going to hope for a caution, but like I said, you never want to root for those kind of incidents. You just want to drive what you think the race is going to be.
Yes, indeed. Lucas Lyons still keeping it up in front there. Going to take us to lap 75 of 100. Yep, he's going to take it down pit road this time as well. Joseph McWhorter's going to assume the lead.
Yeah, so McWhorter's going to have the oldest tires out of our cycling championship, so he stayed out the longest. So whether this is going to pay off for him, currently going to inherit the lead. We got all kinds of controversy back there on pit lane. I see Bontrager, I think, missed the braking zone to get onto pit lane, ended up in the infield there.
Bontrager and I think Claire Sisk was almost full throttle in the grass next to pit lane trying to get down there. I think they might have missed entry or got loose and tried to keep it in for the exit of that one. Still keeping it going through this one. Joseph McWhorter is still keeping his car on track right now.
Yeah, he's probably watching these guys struggle out on the track. He's probably thinking there's going to be a caution, there's going to be a caution. But the longer McWhorter stays out, he's setting himself up for failure potentially, throwing all the marbles at this thing. As we're taking another look to see what happened, we're watching it. Looks like that's Claire Sisk, I believe, bouncing it through. Like you said there, Jacob, just full throttle through the infield.
We're going to take a look. We see Claire Sisk battling with Colton Sisk. I think they got a little bit of help on that one. Didn't try to make entry to pit road at all, just ended up taking it like full throttle through the grass, and I don't think that that might have resulted in a penalty that should have been cleared.
Well, anything could happen here out tonight. McWhorter's still leading this thing, so taking the risk, staying out there. Going to be losing time on those guys that got those fresh tires, so every lap they see, it looks like he might be headed to pit lane right now. He's really slow there through 3 and 4. Yeah, on the pit lane. Here comes the last of our championship drivers, really trying to get that thing wound up.
No!
I think he's okay. It's hard. Oh, man, big time loss there. Big time loss.
Joseph McWhorter botched entry to pit road. I don't know. It doesn't look like that's given him a penalty, but that is not going to help his run to get back to the front here.
Yeah,
oh,
I'm just looking. I don't see a black flag, so it looks like he got down to pit road speed at least when he lost the rear end of the car. But you can see he was trying to get pit lane for everything that it's worth. And, you know, sometimes races are won or lost right on pit lane, and he might have lost that one here tonight.
Well, the one that is cycled out to the front right now, Charles Abert on a 54-lap run. Barrett Morton running in third is the first car on fresh tires, followed by Judson Curtis and Mark Whitley far behind. We're getting toward crunch time on this one, and Barrett Morton's in the hot seat.
Yeah, Barrett Morton with that first one on pit lane, like you said, got Justin Curtis. And, of course, you know, he's racing for a championship, and I'm sure he'd like to get the win as well as the championship. But when push comes to shove, if he has to let another driver win the race, all he's got to worry about currently at the moment is Mark Whitley, just with Justin Curtis. Justin, I'm going to get this right. Justin Curtis trying to split those two guys.
Yep, Judson Curtis wanting to get a win based on like the heavy run that he had last week. I think he led almost all but one lap. It wasn't last week. It was at Michigan. Justin Curtis dominated at Michigan, and then Whitley ended up getting it. Was it Michigan? I'm sorry. It's been too far into the season.
Yeah, I can't even remember. Were we talking about last week?
Oh, Whitley! Whitley makes a dive on Curtis to get that P2 spot. Barrett Morton now in peril of losing that position to Mark Whitley, as all three of these guys are back under a blanket trying to run for the inheritance of the lead.
Yeah, and Charles Abert is going to be headed to pit lane any time right now. He's about as far as he can go. I think the max would be about 60 laps. But we can see right now we're riding on board with Mark Whitley right on the back bumper of that number 9 car. The interesting thing here is Mark Whitley went in a lap or two later than Barrett Morton. A little bit fresh tires, but I don't know what Barrett Morton did on his few outlaps. So Barrett Morton might have saved a little bit on those tires, knowing that he was going to maybe need something. Or maybe Mark Whitley had an incredible stop. I'm just going to look at the pit times. They're almost identical, although Barrett Morton was half a second slower overall through pit lane.
Whether he's got it or not, he's got to give something right here. Mark Whitley looking to the inside on the backstretch. Down to the inside. Barrett Morton is going to keep it out. He's going to back it off a little bit, try to re-rotate to the inside on exit of turn 4, and that's going to give the lead to Mark Whitley.
Yeah, I think that's all by strategy by Barrett Morton. I don't think Barrett Morton wanted to put up too much of a fight because we watched these two guys fight it out earlier, and Barrett Morton was super strong, and I think he let Mark Whitley go. He knows what he's got. He knows he needs to save tires. Maybe he can ride back there and make a charge here in the last 5 laps. But that won't be long because we're about, looks like 15 laps away from that almost.
Just barely toward the end of this one. Watching Mark Whitley get around this lap traffic. Barrett Morton still chasing him down. Whitley starting to stretch it out a little bit as they get into turn 1. Morton still running that lower line to try and get him.
Yeah, as they go around, looks like the lap car, I want to say that was Claire Sisk. Almost Claire gets into the wall there, but able to keep it off. We got a car headed to pit lane as well. I'm just checking to see who that was. I think that was Abert. Yeah, Abert. It looks like he's out of fuel.
60 laps on his stint. Charles Abert, unfortunately, looks like he might be out of fuel. Ran it as far as he could, hoping for that caution, and just didn't get it as he pulls it into pit road.
Yeah, going to coast that thing down. But there you go. There's our race leader, Mark Whitley. Only won one race this season, and that was last week. So he comes back with a vengeance right now. But like I said, I have a sneaking suspicion that Barrett Morton might be saving just a little bit for that last little bit of a run. Maybe Justin Curtis as well. But Justin Curtis just doesn't look as strong as he did at the start of this race.
Look, don't look now. Lucas Lyons trying to work on Judson Curtis for that 3rd spot to maybe get up there and help his teammate get to a good finish.
Yeah, and McWhorter, just to update, as we watch the 17 make the attempt there on the outside of that 29 car. So Justin Curtis falling back maybe another spot here. Yeah, I think that position's just about all but settled, especially the way Lucas Lyons has been running that outside lane, almost all the way up against the wall. Going to have that momentum advantage as they exit there and clears that position.
Yep, Frederick Seagraves in the lap car right there trying to track them down as well. Judson Curtis under his, that's Sammy Yosef and Frederick Seagraves back behind there. Mark Whitley out to 4/10 over the 9 of Barrett Morton as we get toward the end of this one. Under 15 laps to go.
I've got an update on one of our championship contenders. So Joseph McWhorter, you've seen him spin out there under the green flag stop, spin on the pit lane. He has parked that car for the night. He is out of this championship race. He's towed that thing back to the hauler. So it must have been some damage during that spin when he hit that cone. But he is out of this race.
He broke an axle or something. Unfortunate to see him. He was the dominant driver all season long, and to have it end like that is just gutting. As we watch the rest of the drivers that are challenging for this right now, Barrett Morton still trying to track down Mark Whitley as they exit through turns 3 and 4 onto the front stretch.
Yeah, Barrett Morton, if he's got anything in those tires, he's going to need to maybe start picking it up here in about the next 5 laps or so as we're winding this thing down. Almost to lap 90 now. Going to have 10 to go here shortly as they're coming up. We got some faster cars, I want to say, on fresher tires going by our leaders. That might just be my timing and scoring. I think I'm looking at Seagraves or something. But, Barrett Morton sitting right behind Mark Whitley. And then, they got a lap car. Excuse me, it says Samuel Yosef and Frederick Seagraves. So it looks like both those guys are on a little bit fresher tires. Kind of sitting in between 2 of our championship contenders at the moment.
I don't think I would be doing that if I was in that position. I know I'd be trying to get my lap back in case there is a late caution at the end of this one. But if it's this close up front and it's going to be deciding the championship, I really just try and hang back a little bit as they got the championship leader boxed in going into 3 and 4, compromising Whitley's line here.
Yeah, if you know you got faster cars and you're on fresher tires and you can do it cleanly, it's a little close. The question is how good have these lap cars been on their tires all race long? And, now that they got by Whitley, maybe in 5 laps or so, will Whitley catch back up and there'll be another pick? But it's one of those things you got to make a decision. Both those guys are racing for position, so that was the 17th and 18th position, and they got by cleanly. It probably isn't something that Whitley would like to see, or any of our race leaders. But, well, I can tell you Barrett Morton was probably loving watching Whitley get mixed up with those guys. But Barrett Morton falling back just a little bit now, about 7/10 of a second behind our race leader.
Lucas Lyons now catching up to the 9 of Barrett Morton, maybe trying to get him up to maybe trying to push him to the back bumper of Mark Whitley, as we got a little over a half a second between those two. 9 laps to go this time. Mark Whitley trying to seal up this championship from the lead.
Yeah, Barrett Morton hasn't fallen back since the last time. You can see it there on that ticker, just a little over a half second, 6/10 of a second. Now, if he's got anything, it's time to start running that leader back down. I don't know if he does, but this is the battle for the win and the championship right here. Top 2 drivers. These are basically the only 2 drivers in play right now. Jamie Lipke's had some struggles, so she's not in this thing. So it's just between Mark Whitley and Barrett Morton for both the race win and the championship.
Unless a caution comes out, I would count it coming down between these two for maybe both the win and the championship. Barrett Morton needs to get something going here so he can get up to the back bumper of Mark Whitley as we come to 7 to go.
Yeah, I've been watching that gap, and it is.
There's in the wall in front. Samuel Yosef.
Able to keep it green so far, but really slow. That was a hard hit from Samuel Yosef. That was one of those lap cars. We were just talking about that. It's fine to go up there and race with the leaders. You're faster, go ahead and take it. But if you can't control your car up there when you're up front and ahead of this race for a championship, maybe not the best move. But Samuel was able to keep it from interfering with anybody else. But that was a close call.
Yes, it was. Samuel Yosef able to keep it straight through that. Keeps it green on the track right now. I think my heart just jumped out of my chest on that one. I think Whitley might have had his jump out because it happened right in front of them, and Barrett Morton is just cussing and slapping his steering wheel that he didn't get collected in that.
I know, it would have been a freebie for Barrett Morton, but the other side of that is if that accident does happen, you don't know if you're going to get collected too. Barrett Morton's close enough that he might not have been able to do anything to avoid it himself. But we're watching that gap. It really hasn't changed too much, although Barrett Morton slipped back another 10th there. You see it there live on your screen. And this is the battle for the win and the championship with 5 to go. And this is where I said Barrett Morton really needs to turn up the heat if he wants to get this thing done, but I don't know that he has it.
Run a higher line, try anything that to gather more speed through these corners. Yep, there he is. He's running right up top, got the right sides over that seam, cooking the right side tires to try and get as much speed as he can out of that car. I don't think he's going to be able to catch him because he's just lost a 10th trying to track him down on that one. Barrett Morton still falling even further behind Whitley.
Yeah, and you can see him back there a little bit lower line, and that car's getting a little sideways there, and I think you see Sammy Yosef down on the lower hand of your screen there, that yellow car, coming probably off pit lane after that wall strike that he had almost in front of our leaders. But you see that number 9 car up high, about the same gap as what we've seen before, just about 9/10 of a second. You'll see that wind back up. So there it goes. It looks like another loss of a 10th of a second.
I don't know how Mark Whitley is consistently gapping these guys with the different lanes that Morton and Lyons are taking. We've seen speed out of this guy all season. The wind has just evaded him for the majority of it until one fateful lap led at Michigan. Mark Whitley still dominating the end of this race, got a second over his main competitor with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I think, unless something happens, maybe with these lap cars in front of Whitley, Barrett Morton's going to need some kind of a break here to make this happen, because right now it looks like that 77 has got this thing all but locked up.
Yep, still a second between those two. Barrett Morton not under fire from Lucas Lyons here. Morton's got a lot more at stake. Lyons knows that. Mark Whitley rounding his way through turns 3 and 4. If anything's going to happen, it's got to happen now. And it's not going to matter. The white flag is out for Mark Whitley at Atlanta.
Yeah, we get an accident out there on the track right now. This race is official. Like you said, Whitley been pretty much winless all season. He finds himself now in the catbird seat for both another race win and a championship, rounding turns 1 and 2 for the last time.
15 weeks, 1 win, however many top fives, however many sunken interviews from the podium. It's all behind him. Mark Whitley is your 2025 Lincoln Tech Fall Series Xfinity, Invets Xfinity champion. I don't know why I used that many words, but Mark Whitley's won at Atlanta, and he's won the championship.
Yeah, strong finish there. You see Barrett Morton just behind him, comes in second. Heck of a run there for Barrett Morton, but hats off to Mark Whitley. You know, we talked about it all season long there, Jacob, about his inability to win races for such a strong driver. And then last 2 races of the season, he comes here and just shows why he wins championships.
We know he has the speed. We know that he has got a lot of experience behind this wheel, and he showcases it day in, day out. Regardless of what series, he's got the ARCA Pro Championship, and he's got the Xfinity Championship sewn up. Mark Whitley is is this his 3rd championship this season?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm thinking about it, and no, yeah, he won the ARCA Pro, the Friday Truck Series, and now the Sunday Xfinity Series.
Well, there you go. At least he hasn't won all 7 of them. So.
Oh yeah,
but,
no.
Well, he's out there doing those celebration donuts there. Well-deserved victory here at Atlanta. I said those tires were going to be key, and that's what it was for Mark Whitley, able to get it done here tonight.
Yes, indeed. We'll be back with our unofficial results, an interview with our champion and race winner, Mark Whitley, as well as the rest of the podium right after this.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. Invets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. Invets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about Invets, visit us at invets.org today.
We are back here at Atlanta for the Invets Xfinity Series, and I have the pleasure of talking with your fall season champion and race winner here at Atlanta, Mark Whitley. Do you got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Well, we've seen you have speed all season. The win evaded you until Michigan, pulled you into the championship four, and what a way to finish off this season. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, coming into here, this is usually not one of my favorite tracks. It seems like I just never could get the long run speed down in my previous attempts here. And that first run we had, I was like, oh, we're in trouble again because we about wrecked it on the start twice, and then just kind of fell back there and was just kind of riding. Thankfully, the second run the car felt a lot better. I'm not sure if it was just the track changed or what happened, but I felt a lot better. I got a little aggressive to get around Barrett because I knew Joseph was coming, and was able to stay in front of them. And it was just kind of a chicken and mouse game trying to figure out who was going to come down first, who was going to blink, who was going to flinch. I know in past experiences, like a couple laps on tires here is just enormous. So I saw Barrett come down, and I was like, all right, I'll pit a couple laps later, and we did that, hit my marks pretty good, and came back out nice and smooth. And looked like Joe was trying to run it even longer, trying to get a better tire advantage. And I think he just messed up entry. And you hate to see that. Just takes him out of contention right there instead of battling to the end. But he had a strong season all year round, and yeah, we were able to get by Barrett there. On the fresher tires, and he kind of hung with me a little bit. And I was like, oh, did I burn him up trying to catch him? And then I started running. Like, it seemed like different parts of the run you had to change your line like every 5-6 laps. So it kind of came back to me a little bit toward the end there, and I started just ever so slightly walking away, and had to avoid one incident with some car hitting the wall. But after that, I was just praying to get back to the white flag so we didn't have a caution. And I felt like I about wrecked it off a 4 coming to the checker because I was so happy because if you'd have gave me betting odds coming in here, I'd have bet my whole mortgage against myself here. But thankfully, I didn't do that, and we were able to come out on top.
Well, one thing's for sure, I think you're Pat's favorite person right now. You just saved him a ton of work on trying to get trophies shipped out to everybody. This is the third championship you have sealed this week. Who do you have to thank for putting you up top?
Oh man, it's amazing. I would have never thought that's the goal, but getting it done 3 for 3 is kind of crazy. Huge shout out to all the league sponsors here: Invets, Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indiana Department of Affairs, you guys at V Speed, Jam Printing and Promotions, like just all the league sponsors makes it possible for this league to be here and for me to be here racing in it. Glad I found the league. It's been really fun, really exciting. 3 championships in 1 week. I don't think I've ever done that before. So it's one of those things you just catch fire at the right time, and you can just ride that momentum until the end. And just gotta thank all my guys back helping me too. Brantley over at Harpoon Design, he designs all my paint jobs, and he's always up in the spotter stand helping me there. Daryl, he was also helping my other sponsor, Jawa.gg. It's a little late now, but if you're looking for some last minute Christmas gifts or upgrades for yourself, check them out. They got whole PC rigs, or you just want to upgrade on your graphics card, CPU. They got you name it, they got it over there. So check them out. Shout out to all the people tuning in at home. It makes these races special to be able to tune in, race in front of real people. Just like they do every Saturday and Sunday in real life. Vector over in Harpoon, just all the guys. Just I appreciate everybody tuning in, and it's one hell of a season.
Yes, indeed. Take time to celebrate, have happy holidays, and we'll see you next season, sir.
You two guys have a good one.
Take care.
Well, I guess it's time for me. I'm down here right now with oh man, it's got to be a little bit of a heartbreak, but second place finisher in the points and in this race. Barrett Morton, you were my pick tonight. Tell me about your race.
Oh, that's why I didn't win, man. You guys gotta quit picking me.
Well, you did really well tonight. You pretty much you led more laps than Whitley, but he was able to get you there at the end. So you were looking strong all night. I doubt I had anything to do with it.
Yeah, no, I tried. I had a lot of help all night too with the teammates in the race, and they give me pointers or give me information as the race went on. But yeah, there really wasn't much I could do. I was saving more tire than everybody, and I think I was running too easy because after pit stops, I'd have a lot better right front than everybody else in the chat. So the second run, I tried to push a little harder, but I think I was probably running the wrong line, and I just could not catch Mark there at the end.
Yeah, tell us about your strategy coming in there. First one of your championship contenders to head to pit lane.
Uh, yeah, I didn't really have one. We were thinking that there'd be a wreck fest just because the car was actually pretty loose from the get go. You saw the start of that race. That was
Oh
a
yeah.
bit of a mess, but I also put it three wide going into one. I wasn't holding back tonight. So um, we survived. I don't think I had any incident points, nothing. It was a good, clean race for the most part. I just kind of annoyed by constantly finished behind Mark. Like, he
Eh,
can graduate to something, right? So,
eh.
but
Well,
it was a fun race, though.
I was rooting for you, but you've had a good season all season. It's been fun watching you race, and you really showed why you're in that championship contender. Finishing runner up tonight is nothing to complain about. Look forward to seeing what you can do out here next season. And with that said, who do you have to thank for your season runs this season?
Yeah, Invets, B Speed, what you guys do, jam printing and promotions, uh, Alexander PCs, Cofield, Service Supply, all the guys at Bandit Motorsports, Lucas Lyons. Man, there's a lot. It's just RD Designs. He put together this beautiful paint scheme to run tonight in honor of the Biff. So we do this as a hobby, but man, for some reason that one stings a lot. So it was
Yeah,
good to at least get second place for that.
absolutely. All right. Well, there you have it. That was Barrett Morton, runner up finisher for the championship and tonight's race.
Hey, man, thank you.
All right, and I'm standing by here with our third place finisher, Lucas Lyons. Is Jake Linky in the booth? You got a copy?
Yeah.
Strong run all night, led the most laps out of everybody. Take us through it.
Well, I was just going out there and trying to make the bit proud, and I finished third. Um, th- Figured out that the top was a little bit faster later in the run, so I think I was one of the first drivers to really venture out, start running the top, ran back down Curtis, and then kind of burn it up a little bit. Whitley caught up, raced him really hard to try to help Barrett. Was good racing, nothing really egregious, just trying to keep him behind me, and feel bad for telling Barrett to pit when he did because Daniel was right, even though he's our Ferrari pit strategist and ran Mike out of fuel one time. So, but it was a good race. Went four wide when I saw wrecking because I got scared. But other than that,
Yep, you put up a heck of a race tonight, kept it in the top three. Who do you have to thank for putting it on the podium?
Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Scotty Oliver Racing, Honor Home Loans, Lions 3D Designs, iRacing, Invets, MK Fire Designs, Sim Motion, and just you all for doing this, and Eddie for doing a great job, even while being remote, putting on a great broadcast, and V Speed.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate you guys showing up every week and putting on a good show for us. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you next season.
Nate.
Wow, Jacob. Well, I suppose now it's a good time to go over our unofficial results for tonight's race. What a battle did we have. Mark Whitley, your race winner and season championship. Got 3 on the season. Unbelievable. Barrett Morton follows with the second place finish. He wanted that championship. A good run for him. Lucas Lyons will round out your top 3. Judson Curtis with a strong run tonight. They're in 4th. Chance Taylor 5th. Daniel Cunningham in 6th. David Calvert 7th. Stephen Davis 8th, Brandon Wallace 9th, and Jamie Lipke. Unfortunately, she'll finish 3rd in the championship standings, but 10th place finish for her tonight.
Brock Price finishes 11th. Gary Wright in the 44 finishes 12th. Alan Smith brings it home 13th. Stephen Purcell in 14th. Dave Calvert in 15th. Frederick Seagraves in 16th. Charles Aber, your first car lap down in 17th. Chuck Feltz in 18th. Kevin Price 19th. And Samuel Yosef, after a late wall contact, brings it home in P20.
Colton Sisk will finish P21. Claire Sisk, 22nd. Armando Melgosa will finish in 23rd. And there you see it. You've seen it right here on V-Speed. Joseph McWhorter finishes 24th after that unfortunate incident there on pit lane. Craig Brauntrager, another one of those drivers stricken with stress tonight, I guess, in 25th. Darren Price, 26th. Wyatt Dooling, 27th. And George Jewell will wrap out your 28-car field for tonight's race.
Well, Ken, it has been an absolute pleasure going through all these races. I know I've missed a few, and I watched a few of the races that I wasn't in. Good to see you in the booth for all of them. It was a blast doing this whole season together with you.
No, you know what's really great is we've ran 2 seasons together. It has been absolutely outstanding, and we were lucky. We were the closers there, Jacob. So we're on the last night for Goat Locker Racing for the whole series. All 7 races a week. We're the very last race right before we take a 4-week vacation for Christmas, and we'll start up a new season here in the spring. But can't have a better crew here with you and Eddie, and it's just been absolutely fantastic being out here all season long.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to get back into it in 2026. Who knows what that year will bring, sir?
Yeah, and I know one thing for sure. It's going to be exciting. What I've noticed about Goat Locker Racing is it just keeps getting better and better. I guess with that, we can close out there, Jacob. So, we got to thank Invets. They brought this series to you here this season here on Sunday night. And, of course, Lincoln Tech and Save 22. I'm Ken Huber, and alongside me has been
Jacob Blanky.
There's the drum roll. And then Eddie Smith on production. Huge shout out to Eddie Smith. He's done a couple things this season. He had done the ARCA split, doing 2 races at once, and now he's doing it remote at his family's house, I guess. I can't even get the words out right now, and he's doing it from a remote location, running this whole race. So great job there for Eddie Smith. But Dougie Beard for the cameras for this season. And with that, I guess I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas going into the next few weeks. Enjoy your time off, and we'll see you here again next season right here on V-Speed.